Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am going to be diving into day 10 in my Christmas album. Day 9 was wrapping paper, and day 10 is trees. I'm super excited. I've got this 4x6 card that I knew I wanted to start with the trees for. I also have this piece of transparency that I've already punched holes for, and I pulled out a couple products that I knew I wanted to use. So let's see what I can do. Yay! Okay, I am super excited about this portion of my album because I love me some Christmas trees. Now, one of the things we like to say around this house is a holly jolly Christmas, just because it's something that we say. So I decided to take my thickers and kind of overlay them on top of the holly jolly. Now I'm trying to figure out how I can get some pop of red onto this 4x6 card. I was thinking about adding these larger sequins with some wooden hearts, but it really wasn't the look I wanted, and plus the sequins are kind of wavy, and I knew that sticking them down would be a little bit of a pain. I could have used glue dots now that I'm thinking about it, but I decided to look for something else. Now, why this wasn't my first thought, I don't know. But again, I'm trying out other things. The card literally says holly, jolly, Christmas, and I'm like, oh yeah, holly. We should put some holly on there. Duh. So I figure out a couple places where I like the holly to sit, and I pick out 3 places. Just because I wanted a little bit of extra. I really liked it with 2, but you just needed to add a little bit more, and I was happy with that. So I'm going to add some of my deluxe adhesive from Nuvo onto the back of the thicker here and get that stuck down. It is a chipboard thicker, so even though it felt sticky, I'm pretty sure that the sticky's going to fall off. So I went ahead and popped that in there, and then that is going to do it for that card. Really like a bold, clean, and simple card. Now this paper right here is from Paper House Productions with the trees on it, and while I think it would be a great, fantastic paper for a 12 by 12 layout, I knew that I wanted to cut down those trees from the top and really just add it to my December project album here. So I've cut it off, and now I'm just trying to figure out where I need to cut the trees so that it goes into a 4x6 card with some pretty cool tree shapes on it. So I have just the very, very edge of the largest tree trimmed off, and then a little bit less than half of the smallest tree. Now I decided to really add some more green into here. So this came from the Heidi Swapp Winter Wonderland paper pad, and I just used my page protector to mark off where it needs to be cut. The page protectors hold a little bit larger than a 6x8, so if I'm not using a 6x8 paper pad, I like to fill the page protector with paper. So now I'm trying to figure out what I can do to jazz this card up a little bit. I know that I am going to put my journaling on this card. It's going where the little green on green plaid is. So I'm like, I need to bring some white into this. I've got this big, bold, white Holly Jolly over here. So I grab my Love from Lizzie peel-offs, and that is white with a gold edge, and I just cover up the plain dark green print that is on the paper there. And I really like how it turned out. I think that it turned out pretty great. Now I'm looking to figure out what I am going to do because I am going to put my number on this card as well. So the number and the journaling is going on this card. I punched out some of the wood slices pattern paper from Brutus Monroe, and I know that my 10 is going to go on there. And then I'm looking for a little pop of red. I feel like it needs some red. I even went in, those are word, like chipboard word phrases from Freckled Fawn from ages ago. But I'm just trying to figure out where I can get the little pop of red in here. Not like I didn't want to matte the card on red or something like that, which is what I was going to end up doing if I couldn't find anything. But I do have this red and white joy sticker, so I thought that that would be perfect, especially since my theme for the month is joy. And it might not be an overt theme, or it might be. We'll see. Once the album's completed, we'll see if it's overt or if it's just like just a thread that weaves through the album. We'll see. Not exactly sure. I'm okay if it comes out where it's like, this is what brings me joy. Or if you're just like going through the album and you're like, yeah, this stuff, this, you can tell like this is the season of joy for her. So like whatever way it goes, I'm happy. Now I'm trying to figure out how to add a little bit more embellishment to this card, because I feel like it needs a little bit of something else. And while I'm doing that, I am trying out things that could work on my Hambly, acetate piece. So yes, I have a ton of, I won't say a ton, but I do have a good stash of Hambly acetate pieces, and I love them, and I have hoarded them forever, and I'm starting to use them. And I really wanted to use this one in the Christmas journal, so it's off to the side. I decide to go to my Indigo and Ivy gold letter stickers for the number 10. I knew that the Indigo and Ivy gold puffy stickers would be great for my December project, even if I didn't finish them and use them all up when I was creating with Indigo and Ivy. So it's all good, because they were used. Now I am pulling out these kind of clear epoxy stickers from Paper House. I'm just trying to figure out like what I can do to just add a little bit of something else. So I go for the stars, and I decide to put the star right on top of the Christmas tree here. So I have the green star that's on my little wooden scallop shaped piece, and then I have a star that I put right on top of the Christmas tree, and it also kind of nestles right between the O and the Y, so it works for me. I pull out my Uniball Signo white gel pen, and it is starting to die just a little bit, I can tell. So I will be purchasing a new one in the next couple of months. A couple of months? What am I saying? Couple of weeks. Woo! Time is flying. So it says, "Oh, Christmas tree, how I love putting up our mini Christmas trees. Christopher never had a tree growing up, and this year we have 6. We have the living room, the dining room, the scrapbook room, the landing, the loft, and our bedroom. Of course, Lana has a small one in her room, and Chloe decorated her small tree when she got home. Love the trees." And I really do. I tried to convince my husband that we needed a 7th Christmas tree, so I could put it on the kind of like the count, not really, it's not really a counter space, but like there's a space around the tub. But you know, as much as I wanted to sit and soak in the tub and stare at a pretty Christmas tree, it really couldn't fit on the side of the tub. It just wasn't big enough, and it probably would have fallen in the tub, and that would have been all bad. But I think our counter has enough space for a small Christmas tree, so maybe I'll go to work and check out the Christmas trees, because they're on clearance already at work, and see if I can get a small one for the counter. We'll see. We'll be like, surprise! Surprise, it's another tree. And then I'll have another story for my December album. So there it is. Now, I did put this card in to the pocket before the ink had completely dried, so I did get white ink on the back of the plastic page, but I just rubbed pretty much most of it off. I'm okay that some of it's still there. It kind of looks a little bit like a snow thing going on. So, you know. I am using my label punch to punch out labels with that same wood slice paper. And when I first got this paper pack, I was most excited about the plaids. They are what drew me in to purchasing the paper pack. And I was like, the regular wood grains are cool. Like, I'll use a bunch of those. And then I was like, these slices, I'm not sure if I'm feeling them, but they have been great for this Christmas project. Like, totally awesome. They fit in with the theme. They give me the feel I want. Like, I'm totally in love with it. Now, I decided to use these rice paper stickers, the Christmas trees ones. These are from Paper House as well. And what I'm doing is I'm building on one side of the transparency sheet, and I'm making sure that the other side is going to be completely covered as well. So you're not going to see anything you're not going to see the backside of things on the transparency sheet. Now, I know that that is definitely a technique that people do use. They can put, like, I know that I've seen other people do big numbers on one side of a transparency, or even just in a page protector, and you turn it over and you see the back side of the numbers. I'm not there yet. I'm not there with thinking, yeah, that's okay. My little Christmas books are really just like little sweet bundles of joy for me. And while the backside of a number isn't going to like ruin my life or ruin my project, it's just not something I'm ready to see yet. That's not to say next year when I'm doing this project, I might, feel completely differently. And that's okay, because that's where I am right now with this project and with my scrapbooking. And it's okay to evolve and change how you feel about things that you're scrapbooking. I definitely have changed how I feel about things. I just, I've changed. I've changed how I feel about things. There we go. Like the one thing I used to hate in scrapbooking was brackets. Just was not a fan of brackets. And yes, I mean like brackets, like punctuation brackets, like drove me crazy. And now it's butterflies to a point. But even butterflies, there are times where I think a butterfly is an appropriate embellishment for a page, but most of the time I just think they're random. So, and that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, like, it's okay to evolve how you feel about your scrapbooking and how you feel about the things that you're putting into your albums. I would just encourage you not to, like, hate what you've already done in your albums. Because at that point you completed it, you made it, and you put it into a page, and it's more than just the photos and the words that tell the story. It's also the products that you use and your style. Like, you can see how you've changed creatively, how you've grown creatively, and I think that when we redo our things over and over again, because our style changes or our favorites change, like we're missing that. We're missing that somehow. And that just that makes me a little bit sad, because I love the creative process and I love seeing how people change. I love going through my albums and looking and seeing like the differences that have happened. Like that just gives me so much joy. Here I am talking about joy. Joy should just be my word. Not that I even have ever done a word, but sometimes like a word just keeps popping up in your life and you're thinking, maybe I need a word. So, do you guys have a word? Are you doing a word this coming year? I'm not sure. Okay. So here we have the front, and that is decorated. So I went ahead and flipped it over, and then you'll be able to see what I'm going to do to the back side so that it is even and you're not going to see it. I do add a little pop of red because I do have the little pops of red over on the left-hand side of the page, so I figure need it just a little bit of red on the right-hand side of the page as well. So I'm thinking about adding a little bit more embellishment, a little bit more decoration to this, because, I am a big fan of more is more, but I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't finding anything in particular that was really making me think, yeah, I need to add more on this, because it just wasn't there. So I'm adding adhesive to the back side of the sister pieces, which are on the other side, and I'm just lining them up over top of the transparency. And then you can see, or not see, rather, the back side of the pages. And I'm just being super careful to line this up. So even the tree that hangs over the edge of that label, I'm just being careful to line it up so you don't see the back side of the tree on the other side. I went ahead and got off some of the extra adhesive that was kind of chilling there. And now that I've got this front page, I need to come up with something decorative on the back page. And I'm super excited about this because I finally get to, now that Santa hat would have been cute, but completely way too huge. Like the scale was completely off. Now, I decided to go with a larger red heart to match the one the smaller one that was on the other side. And this is what I'm super excited for. I get the word joy that I've had in these little letter stickers up on the top of my mat for days and days and days now. I tried to pull it out and use it earlier in one of the December projects, but it didn't work, and it finally does. So that makes me happy. So when you flip it over, and you're looking at the left side of the page, like you can see Holly Jolly Christmas, and then you see Joy Joy. And that's okay with me. Like, it's that you see joy twice like that. Just because I feel like it totally, like, here it is overtly in your face. Yes, this album is about joy. So, Anyway, super, super happy with how this turned out. The Nuvo Deluxe adhesive does dry clear, so the little bits of white adhesive that you've seen underneath of Christmas and also underneath of the gold letters, you don't see that when the glue is completely dry. So I snapped the transparency back into the album, and now I just need to figure out what I am doing on the 6x8 portion of the album. So this day is a 2-page spread with the transparency insert in the middle. Now, I snapped 3 photos with my Instax. It is just of 3 of the Christmas trees. The main Christmas tree, the one in the scrapbooking room, and also one in the dining room. And you really can't see the beauty of the trees with the Instax photo. It's not the best quality photo, but really these little albums, most of the photos aren't the best quality. And like I said, a lot of the times so far in this album, it's been more about the words than it has been about the pictures this year. So I'm okay with that. And if that changes, like throughout the book, and it turns out to it's more photo heavy instead of words, I'm okay with that as well. It's just kind of like a natural evolution of what happens. So I add some adhesive to the Instax photo to have it kind of nestled on top of each other. And I just figure out where the photos are going to lay on the sheet so that they're pretty much in the middle of that black transparency circle. So that's all I'm doing. I'm like, okay, looks good there. Yep, perfect. I press it down. And then now here comes the daunting piece where I'm like, okay, so it looks good like that. And then what happens once I peel this transparency off? Like, it's a super plain page. Like, that's not going to work for me. So I need to add some embellishment. Now, I do have the label, the small label with the wood pieces when I cut off the larger wood pieces for the transparency. I'm thinking about adding in another brad up there, but I'm like, do I really want to go that way? No, I don't. What I want to do is bring in one of these white acrylic hearts because I've had them in other places in the album. Now I have done some alcohol ink on them slightly to give them a tint, and I've also left them white. And in this case, I'm also going to leave it white because I like the pops of white that are going on this Day 10 spread. And plus the background paper that I have is green and white, but it's almost not a white. It's almost a super pale green on those stripes. So we're just going to go with it. Now this is a sticker. It's in a planner sticker book. But like I've said before, I've tried to be a planner girl. I am not a planner girl. I am an abysmal failure at being a planner girl, but you know what? Planner stickers are so fun and cute that I totally think that they are appropriate and fantastic to use in scrapbooking. So that's what I do with my planner stickers. So I'm going to add this onto the top of the glitter washi that I already put down, and it's going to kind of cover up the little, like the finger holder of the Instax photo. I don't know what that's called. I've always called it a finger holder, so that's what it is. It's where you hold it. So finger holder. Now I'm thinking about this up at the top. It's just going to give it a little bit of something up there so that it's not super, bland. Now I was also thinking about adding a lot of journaling in the background here and just have the journaling kind of fill the page. I still might do that if I decide I have more to say about Christmas trees. Maybe like reminiscing about Christmas trees and how like the beauty of them, and it's just really, whenever the Christmas tree went up, I knew that it was the season. It was the Christmas season. So maybe I'll do something like that, or that might be a completely different entry in this December project. So we'll see. But I do want to add in some more gold. Because I have gold on the other 2 pages, and I've got this sparkly gold and the little pops of gold on that sticker, but I felt like I needed more gold. And so I decided lovely would be perfect for that, because the trees are lovely. Not that you can really tell in the poor little Instax pictures, but they are. And you know what? Maybe I will tell a story about the Christmas tree, the big main Christmas tree. It's a 9.5-foot Christmas tree, so it's a pretty big tree. And my husband just loves it. Like, it's his favorite tree ever. And usually we used to change our theme on our Christmas tree every year, and with this big tree, we haven't. We add a few things to it every year, but we don't really change the theme. So maybe I'll talk about that one day, or maybe I'll talk about how we have artificial trees, because I'm allergic to Christmas trees. And whenever we would have a real Christmas tree when I was young, like I would be it would be horrible. Like the Christmas season was horrible. Couldn't breathe, couldn't, function. That brings up poor memories though. Like, so we're not gonna talk about that, because this is the album that brings me joy, not the album that makes me angry for a childhood that had a stepfather that didn't care if you were allergic to a tree. But anyway, I'm gonna end on that, guys, and sorry to end so negatively, but here we go. There it is, and stay tuned for day 11.